Hello, snowboarders of the internet. I am your host, Kevin, here to give you my top 5 park boards. I'm sorry Avran couldn't be here. I think he got abducted by aliens? I don't know, it was purple light, and then he just wasn't there anymore. It may have been the reincarnation of Prince. Number 5, and we are starting off with the Arbor westmark rocker, specifically the rocker version. And so I've ridden this board a bunch over the years. I was pretty shocked back then at how well a full rocker 150 did on hard ice, because this was back when I rode it at Winter Park. Thank goodness I don't have to ride there anymore. Overall, this board has just been good. It has a fantastic sweet spot to press into. It's got good snap. It hits rails good. It hits jumps good. And overall, it's just a board that, like, basically I know that if I need to go grab something to go ride park with a bunch of other people, because I don't ride park anymore, let's be honest, but if I need to, I can always trust that when I grab the westmark, it's going to do exactly what I need it to do, and it's going to be predictable doing it. Number 4 is something that I'm pretty sure me and Avran disagree pretty heavily on, and that is the DC Mega. I actually really like this board. I think it's a fantastic camber dominant, little bit of micro rocker nose and tail, so it's not quite catchy basically. Definitely a little more towards the jump side for me on this list, but still good on rails, and it's light, it's snappy, I like the side cut, and kind of like just talking about the westmark, it's something that I know I can get on and I just know what it's gonna do. It feels like that type of board that you've already been riding for a number of years, and it just feels predictable. Number 3, we are getting on to the Rome Buckshot, another camber dominant board, and by dominant I mean it's entirely camber. I think they say stay positive rocker or some weird stuff. Apparently they had to rebrand camber in order to sell camber. The board's got a ton of snap to it, and it's still not a demanding board. It's a little bit softer flexing. It's kind of like your high-end jib board for dudes hitting big jib stuff, because it actually has some meat to it. It's got also a really good side cut. I think it's one of the more underrated kind of park boards out there that actually turns extremely well. Number 2 comes from a ski brand. Just kidding. It's from K2, and it's the Bottle Rocket. The Bottle Rocket is their first edition of stuff that was still volume shifted but not full directional. And that basically allows you to downsize on it a little bit extra. So I rode this in the 48. It has a little bit more girth to it, a little bit more width, and it was just exactly what I needed it to be. I really like flat boards personally when it comes to park stuff. I think they're super predictable because you're not loading the rocker or you're not loading camber. There's no preloaded energy into these boards going into jumps or hitting rails with. Yeah, I mean, Bottle Rocket's just solid, and I like the fact that you can downsize on it a little bit. It makes it way more playful and way more nimble. Spinning on and off stuff, jumps, that kind of thing. Before we get on to number 1, I'm going to give you some honorable mentions. First on that list is the Burton Freethinker. Next on the honorable mention list is the LibTech Box Knife. Next on the honorable mention list is the Capita Outsiders. Number 1, you made it. You made it all the way through the list, and now you get to hear my top favorite park board. And that goes to the niche theme. Now, this used to be a pretty dang beefy deck, and I own one of those. I own a 57 with a number of years ago that had the weird graphic on it before they went basically black and white graphics, which still look fantastic, by the way. And the reason this guy lands on the number 1 spot for me is because if I were to go and design myself a park board, it would feel very similar to this. Extremely similar to this. I think for me, and just the way that I ride, what I'm looking for, it basically has the perfect flex for me. Just the way that the tips press, the pop out of it, the amount of effort you have to put in to get the pop out of it, the way it wraps around a rail, the side cut on it so that you can carve in between rails or, you know, carve on your way to the park. It just does exactly what I want it to do, almost exactly how I want it to do it. That's why the niche theme lands at number 1 for me. This has been my top 5 park boards. Did your board make the list? Did it not make the list? Do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? Leave me a comment. Let's have a conversation about this. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and smash that bell. Make sure you're getting notifications when we've got new videos coming out. If you want to support us, the best way to do that is to head over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. There's perks, and you can give us money. Win-win. I've been your host, Kevin, and thanks for watching.